Hello there everyone and welcome to episode 2 of Coast of the Week. Now for those who haven't seen the first episode yet, I've been doing some new changes to the series of Coast of the Week. Now some of you might notice that I've actually changed the camera angle. Last week I did it by the window, but this time I think this camera angle actually works better because I can actually see more better than the other angle I did for the past series and the others as well. So if you've not seen last week's first episode of the series, we're in series 4 now. I've done some new changes. I'm now recording on the mobile phone and I've now got my tablet with me with all the field data and statistics of each coaster. Now every week I'm going to be talking about 2 coasters. You should all know now that I'm going to be talking about 2 coasters in one episode. So part 1, which is this part I'm talking about right now, is going to be coaster number 1. And the other one, which is part 2, will be coaster number 2. So yeah, it's going to be a really good episode. There's going to be more coasters to talk about. Lots of exciting ones this time I've actually made. So yeah, here we go. So the first coaster I've made is called Fire in a Hole. So this coaster took me quite a long time to do because I've actually added some cannons to this one. So during the ride, the coaster is going to get shot out of the cannon numerous times, so about 7 times this is going to happen in the ride. So and you'll see in a few minutes when I show you a POV. So yeah, it's going to be shot out of a cannon. That's why it's called Fire in a Hole, because it's an expression used, and I think it's going to look really good when I actually see the coaster in action. So let's go through the field data first. So the max speed is 81.61 miles per hour, which is the fastest. The average speed is 41.57 miles per hour, which is the average speed. The time on this coaster is 1 minute and 11 seconds, so just over a minute long. The length is 83 miles, a little bit longer than the other ones I did last week. There's 16 drops in this ride, and then the inversions, which are the cannons, there's 7 of them, like I said just a few minutes ago. So let's move on to the statistics. So the build cost was £6,060 for it to build. The capacity of the ride is 8, and it's actually a train this time. And then the thrill rating is 100 out of 100, which is brilliant, but not good news for the nausea because it is actually 100 out of 100, which makes the coaster too sick to watch. So that's all the thrill data and statistics for the first one. Without further ado, you know what time it is, don't you? It's time for an on my POV of this coaster. Sit back and enjoy. Okay, this coaster is going to be a bit different, so you can see here it's now going to go into the cannon. So that's the first one, and just look at it go, look at it fly. It's going to fly and then it's going to go on to the next section and it's going to do it again. And I really enjoy using these cannons. It looks so awesome to watch from the television. So you can see here it then goes out again, back into the cannon, over and out. Yeah, this is a really good coaster I've designed. You can see here the thrill rating is absolutely high because of the cannons. So I think we've done about, I think this will be the 6th one we're going to do next. There we go. I added a big drop in it to make it more thrilling as well, so you can see here. Down we go. And then we're going to go into the last cannon, which is about to come up right now. You'll see, and there we go. That's the last one. And then back to the station. I really enjoyed this coaster. It looks so fun, but it does look a bit too sick to go on. So yeah, there you go. That's the end of coaster number 1. Right then, so here comes the second coaster of the episode. So we're now going to talk about a brand new roller coaster that I just created in the week. So this coaster that I'm going to be talking to you now is called the Head Roller. Now this is a very exciting coaster I've actually been doing because it's absolutely awesome. When you watch the POV in a few minutes, you are actually going to be very surprised of some of the elements I've actually used on this ride. So before that, let's quickly go through all the fill data. I forgot what I was saying. The fill data and the statistics, and then we'll get straight onto the on my POV. So the max speed of this coaster is 44.74 miles per hour. The average speed is 18.58 miles per hour. The time that this coaster will take to get around the whole track, including the inversions, will take 1 minute and 39 seconds. The length is quite small at this time, 52 miles. There's 5 drops on this ride. It's not much at all. And there's 60 inversions, which I don't know where it came from, but there's actually 60 inversions used on this ride. I think it's including the wacky elements I've been using as well, so you'll find out when I do the POV in a few seconds. Let's move on to the statistics real quick. The build cost, 5,680 quid. The capacity of the ride is 12. This is including all 4 cars. They sit 4 passengers per car, so put it all together, it's 4, and it's actually 4 riders per car. The thrill rating of this ride is on the up, 100 out of 100, and then of course we've then got the nausea rating, which is the same as the first coaster I did, 100 out of 100, which is actually going to be another sicky coaster to watch. So without further ado, let's get this on-ride POV started. Right, here we go then, another coaster. So this is called the head roller, and you'll probably know why in a few minutes. You can see these little elements I've used down there, which are the silvery bits. So we're going to start off by a drop, we're then going to go through a helix, and then back up again. And here we go, so this is the head roller, so that's why I've actually called it the head roller, which is the name of the coaster. It's actually named the element that I just used. So we just go around a few twists, and here we go. And it's actually easier because I've not actually added drops. I actually used these elements as drops, so it's actually more easier to make it more thrilling and exciting and scary at the same time. So yeah, so there we go. Back we go again. Got more head rollers coming up. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And there's loads that I've actually used during this ride, which is crazy. And that's why I think this is why I've got the 60 inversions for some reason, because I've actually used quite a lot of these during the ride. So there we go. You can see the actual car rolls itself. It's like doing gymnastics. You do like a I don't know what it's called, but it's actually one of those rolls you do with head over heels, but I'm not sure what it's called. So there we go. Got some more. And this is really good what I'm actually using. So there you go. Oh, just one more to go. And there you go, that's all the elements used. And that's the end of this ride. I really enjoyed it actually. Absolutely brilliant. Really good. So there you go then, another episode has come to a close. The weekend is almost here. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Coaster of the Week. Like I said, last week, near the end of the episode, I normally do a quick little reflection on what coaster was the best and why. So I'm going to do it right now. So, comparing the 2 coasters that I actually just looked at, Fire in a Hole was actually, it was an okay coaster. It wasn't that great, to be honest, getting shot out of a cannon or anything. I know it was flying and that, but it was okay, to be honest. I like the cannon elements I used in the ride itself, but to be honest, I don't think it worked really well because, well, it did work, but I don't think it worked as well as I wanted it to be, because I think it was too fast, especially when you approach the station at the last hodor. You just go through it and then a little bit of movement, which is not that great. The last coaster I just did, which was the head roller, I think was actually amazing because I used the wacky elements. There were 60 inversions used if you were counting along the ride and that. So I think today's coaster that was probably the best was the head roller, I think. And I think it was the best because, like I said, I used those elements, and to be honest, I actually used them as drops. So instead of having like one big drop going straight down, I think the head roller elements were really good. So I think head roller is definitely the best coaster of this week. So thank you so much for watching this episode 2 of this series. Now, before we go, I just want to announce something. Now, probably on every Monday and Tuesday, I'm going to be posting the on my POVs that I did for those coasters. So if you're someone that doesn't like the talking or that, and you think the episode is too long, I'm going to put a playlist down in the description, and you can go to the on my POVs of the coasters. If you don't like me talking, and that's fine, you can go straight into the playlist below. You can watch the on my POVs if you're someone that doesn't like things being slow. So you can watch those on my POV videos in that playlist below. So that is all then for this week. I hope you all have a good weekend. I'll be back next week for another episode of Coaster Week, which will be half term. So thank you so much for watching. Keep up the support for Branthwaite Productions. We've got 76 subscribers now, which is absolutely brilliant, and I can't wait to do another video on the channel very soon. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in another video very soon. See you later everyone. Bye for now.